some of y'all following me, you're just now meeting me. You didn't know me back when I had first started. When I was in college, a lot of people know that I went to Virginia Commonwealth University. Hey, VCU Rams. And I graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts in African American Studies, right? So you can pretty much get or have an idea of basically the academic training that I had and the different cultural things that I was exposed to. And I mean, even before getting that degree, I grew up around a whole bunch of Trinities and Jamaicans and West Africans, Sierra Leoneans, Liberians, una big up on myself, so I mean, you had all this stuff before college, which helped choose that major. But in a way, while I was embarking in this African American studies journey, I kind of started wanting to play around with singing reggae myself. Well, beat back up a little bit. I was dating a DJ at one point in time, and he was really heavy on the reggae side. So, even though I was exposed to reggae and a whole lot of calypso and soca before him, thanks to him hooking me up with a lot of different, roots, culture, reggae CDs, he did catch me up to speed to a lot of music that I did not grow up on. So, throughout this whole journey of undergrad, I'm listening to all this old reggae, but yet it's new reggae to me. And, just catching the feel, and I'm just hearing, different artists and stuff. And I said, I would like to try to do some of this stuff. I would hear different crossovers, like a lot of different R&B songs being flipped to reggae. And I was just like, okay, let me take a little stab at this. So, as I'm getting my ideas together, I did have a wonderful friend. Well, not did, she's still my homegirl. My homegirl, Zebra Taylor. And, well, no, she's Zebra Massenberg, but she was Zebra Taylor at that time. So, that was the beginning stages of her studio. And, she said, if you want to come into my studio to just kind of play around and just kind of get a feel of what you'll sound like, go ahead and come through. So, definitely I want to thank my girl Zebra for giving me that opportunity back in, what was it, like 2002, y'all. 2002, I've been at this. I thank you for that opportunity, and I know when you see what I'm doing now, I know you're like, whew, I saw it before she even got her feet all the way wet in it. So, she saw it. If nobody else saw, she saw it as it was in the making all the way back in 2002. Okay, so there I am. After I graduated from VCU, my parents blessed me with a nice monetary gift, and I decided to use a portion of that monetary graduation gift to invest in my first album, which was called Diasporan. It was interesting. I had did it at Q Recording Studio, and at that time I was using like Cakewalk or something really crazy. I was still getting my hands wet in regards to the production side. I already knew about songwriting all the way from high school and stuff, but really getting into digital production, I was using one of the cheapest programs that you can buy. So, when stuff is cheap, there's limitations to it. So, but I did record at Q Recording Studio, which, was an amazing opportunity, great studio and stuff. So that was that, okay? Started meeting more people in the reggae circuit, in the DC Metro reggae circuit. The project wasn't all reggae, what I had did, but I knew where I was going. I knew where God was leading me to. I knew. I felt where I was going. So I started hanging out in Adams Morgan, and we always call that Freetown because we call Adams Morgan Freetown because you don't really have to pay to go into the clubs, but didn't know that they had like a nice. Well, no, we did know that it had a nice reggae scene because you had Bukum and you had a spot called Ghana Cafe, and it was at Ghana Cafe that I actually had met a band named Clean Cut. When I met Clean Cut, first of all, when I stepped into that club, I felt like I was stepping into a CD. And I told them this too. I said, man, you guys sound like a CD. You guys sound like a CD. Everything was just balanced, and that's the beauty of live music. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people don't know how to do sound and how to really do for live music. It's not all about just being loud, loud, loud. It has to be balanced and loud. Balanced and loud, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't know what it was, and you know, and it was primarily, you know, a West African crew, and that was another thing that I was like, what? Okay, y'all not Jamaicans? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And you know, excuse my ignorance, but that's what they feed us here in America. You know, a lot of people, they call the whole entire Caribbean Jamaica. The Caribbean is called Jamaica. So, but you know. Don't charge our heart. Charge what's been fed into our minds. But anyway, you know, just even catching that different feel of, you know, just West African reggae vibes. I mean, that's a whole other thing too. But you know, started doing a few features with them, and you know, they was like one of the baddest bands in the land, in my opinion. And you know, I know different artists are still doing different things, but you know, I will forever remember Clean Cut, because that was like, you know, my very first experience. Okay, so I met Clean Cut, and that's when I started, you know, learning even more reggae songs, just, you know, by hanging with them and you know, singing background for Gray, Super Gray, singing for Frederick Gray. You know, I love singing with Gray. So, you know, a lot of my just comfort in backing a singer in reggae came from my internship, I would say, my internship with Clean Cut. So I mean, it was great, and you know, that followed the Diasporan album that was released in 2006. Now, throughout my time at VCU, I had a very good friend who is no longer with us, named Hector. You know, everybody called him Super. You know, Super, and he was connected with these cats from Chile. You know, so this is after Diasporan, and I'm beginning to record and write songs for Rhythmic Blues, which would later come out. But this is around like 2008, when I'm linking up with the Chile guys as a result of being introduced to them by Super. So I had the honor of meeting Iration. Well, they're Gyration now. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, because there is a band now named Iration, but the Chile band was the first Iration. And I'm just going to leave that alone right there. But they are Gyration now. Gyration. You know, and that was my first time performing with, you know, a big reggae band, you know, horns and all that type of stuff. And the first time that I sang reggae in Spanish. You know, really nice cats. But you know, that it was performing with them, in which with them opened for Beres Hammond. With them, I opened for Kamani Marley. You know, and I can't remember who else was there. I think Iwayne was there and some other people. But you know, that was my first feel of, you know, being with a big band and opening for, you know, like major artists. And I mean, you know, Gyration is a major band. You know, when Kamani or, you know, any of them come down there and perform in Chile, Gyration is the backing band. So that's a bad band right there. You know, but the funny thing about it is, one of those days in which I happened to be out there with the Clean Cut band out there in Adams Morgan, we had took a break. And a lot of times, you know, when we were at Ghana Cafe, you take a break and then you run across the street to Bukum Cafe to see who was performing over there. It just so happened one of the days that I happened to go over there to Bukum Cafe, Proverbs Reggae Band happened to be performing there. So, you know, I definitely had my eye on, you know, the band as for, you know, in support of the band. Like, never in a million years did I even see myself even on the stage with the Proverbs Reggae Band. It's definitely an honor to be with the band. But I never even thought about it because they had already had a female, and I mean, she was super dope too. So I mean, it just never really just crossed my mind. But once Clean Cut had broke up, or I should say, everybody moved away. Basically, in my opinion, Proverbs was just basically one of the top bands that was still around. And when I wanted to hear some nice roots reggae, I knew where to go. I can't remember if I saw Proverbs in the Crossroads when the club Crossroads was open. I feel that I did, because I was going to Crossroads before I was even old enough to go there. But yeah. So, but it was very interesting because I met Rosiah, who was the band leader of the Proverbs Reggae Band, through a guy that was playing with Clean Cut in the past, Papa C. And he me and Papa C worked together and stuff musically and stuff. I'm the one who sang all the backgrounds on his album that he had released called Come See Me Smiling. But that's me. Hey, he said people always ask him, who are those 3 girls that's singing? He said, oh, my I Trees. He said, no, the I Trees is just one girl. But anyway, Papa C already knew me. And, he was playing with the Proverbs Reggae Band at that time. So, he had asked Rosiah if I could sing. So, I got up there and I sang. And, and then that was it. That was it. I left before the club closed. I did not officially meet Rosiah that day. I just saw him on the stage. I sang my song and then I left. That was it. And I think that was probably like around 2008 or so. Yeah, it might have been like 2008 when all that had went down. And then I had saw the band again. Yeah, I saw the band again. They were playing in Old Town at a place called Bistro Europa. And then I saw them at another place called Jolly's, which is now hashtag Lounge right now. And it's just so funny because, I would see them and, and I'll wave at, Rosiah, like the rest of the band, they'll nod or, whatever, and I'll wave at Rosiah and, he wouldn't do that. And he wouldn't wave back, just nothing. So, to be honest, I didn't even think that he either remembered me or, didn't like me or what. I don't even know. So, that's why when they started playing at Appio in 2016, like I said, I met him, I sang on the stage with him in 2008. I didn't, have that invitation to sing again until 2016, even though I've seen him, at Bistro Europa and Jollies. But that's never my thing. Anyway, there's some singers that, they come around and they know certain people are playing and, they just, they hungry for the microphone. I'm not that type. If I give the invitation, fine. But, I don't come there seeking that invitation. Okay. So, when they started playing back in DC, because I hadn't seen the band, for some time. So to be honest, I didn't even think the band was still playing. But, once I saw a flyer, I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, we gonna go and stuff like that. And then when I had came that night, he was like, what song you gonna sing for us tonight? And I'm just like, saying to myself, you remembered me? I didn't see you times before and you didn't say nothing to me, like, that you remembered me or anything. So, they had played there, for like 2 weeks. And then, I came through both weeks in a row, did something with the band both weeks in a row. And then, and then that was it. That was it. Because I don't think they were playing there for a good little period. And then, one day Rosiah just called me. And, a lot of people know that I went to grad school for film and stuff. So, I thought he was calling me to possibly work on a video or something, So when he called and he was, telling me that he had basically an opening in the band, I was just like, Okay. Because I mean, it totally caught me completely off guard. But let me tell you how God used Rosiah to crack my face on that phone call. Because, you know, Rosiah, he was just like, yeah, you know, because I remember when you first sang with us, and that was 2008. Like I said, I didn't even think he remembered. But, you know, he's like, I remember when you had sang, there was some song that you had sang, I just, you know, I can't remember, I can't recall what it is. And at that time, I had a song called Get Serious. Well, not had, but have a song, Get Serious. And I was singing it all the time at Ghana Cafe. So, you know, that Adams Morgan feel, you know, they got to know that song. So, you know, I will always feature that song. Even when the Proverbs band was at Avio, I sang that song with them. So, you know, and I was just like, oh, it's Get Serious. And Rosanna was like, no. It wasn't. And I was just like, okay. And I couldn't recall what it was that I had sang. But then I did sing another song before Get Serious. I had sang, Thank You, Lord, for what you done for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's Bob Marley's song, Thank You, Lord. And he said, yeah, that was the song that you had sang. And then just later on in the night, God said, see, you thought when I opened the door for you, it was going to be because of you. He said, you got that door open because you was giving me glory. He wasn't even thinking about no Get Serious. He was thinking about the glory you gave me, thanking me. When I tell you, I was like, Lord, okay. That's why can't nobody ever say, oh, you know, all right, you know, she thinks she all that, you know, with the Proverbs band or whatever like that. You know, God opened that door and God corrected me and let me know that I am there to sing on this musical mission with the Proverbs Reggae Band because he opened that door for me. It was not of my own doing. It was not because of a song that I wrote or that he inspired me to write, but you know, it wasn't because of singing about to a love of a person, but to a love of the Lord. So, Rosa, I didn't know that, but he know it now.